never inside. Where you going, boy? Never inside. Where you at? Never inside. Inside.
The never inside theory. Are we going outsiding? That's the theory. Let's outside. Outside ain't easy. The PBros are back.
You ready?
I'm as ready.
Are you ready to do this?
as ready as I'll ever be to do this
All right.
now.
All right. Welcome back to the Never Inside Theory. We're here in the Never Inside Shack. Pound sign. What's up, dude?
Dude, living the dream, brother.
Yeah?
Living the dream. This
Yeah.
is the easiest thing I have to do my whole life is just hang out here with you.
Just sit here and...
So I'm going to enjoy this,
do
just
it.
chilling, kind of, outside, inside, outside.
Yeah.
And it's very just peaceful. We have a cool little different ambient light going on that is just kind of massaging my optical nerves. So it feels good.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
And yeah, I have I can ignore the phone and everything. It's very similar to camping, but with all this equipment and these big lights.
Right, and a roof and walls and,
Yeah.
and no Tweety
But
birds.
I can imagine myself just
Well,
woosah.
we can't always be outside as much as we would love to, but we can do our best to bring the outside inside, and that actually is a good segue into all of the additions,
That's
the
right.
lovely additions to the Never Inside Shack.
It is becoming. I don't think we're at cluttered yet, but I think that we're at filling all the spaces.
We got to stop. We got to stop here. Maybe a few more things on your side, but so let me point out the things that I've added.
Okay,
Number one is these trekking poles here,
I see that.
right here, crossed right below the TV. For those of you that aren't watching, they're just some standard black trekking poles, Bass Pro Shops brand. They're just the twist kind. If you look at the ends, which you can't see there, sorry guys. I'll post a picture at some point. There actually is one on our social media, but they're completely worn down to just nubs.
What did they look like before?
They're like
How
these-
long were the little? Because I see the little metal ends. on
Yeah, they're typically like a 1/4 inch, maybe little cylinder shaped nub thing that sticks out the tip.
Right.
It's got some texture on the end of it, so for grabbing onto rocks and stuff. That's completely gone. The part that screws into is completely gone. They're just worn down a nub. So this is the set of trekking poles. First set I ever had, but also I did the whole John Muir Trail with them.
Ah,
So that's done well over 200 miles with those poles.
and they did good for you.
Yeah, especially for considering they're the $20 Bass
I
Pro
was about
Shop
to say
special.
I didn't want to use cheap. Is not
They're
the
cheap.
good word. Well, they're cheap, but if they're functional, then they're just the less expensive ones.
Exactly.
I
I mean,
mean-
they're sticks
Right.
that you hold on to
Right.
to help stabilize. So, but I can see I do have some more valuable ones now.
Yeah.
And I can definitely tell the difference.
Okay.
And it's typically functionality. You can get the carbon fiber and the aluminum and all
a
this
little
stuff.
lighter, maybe.
But how much of a difference does that really make? I don't know. Some of them. The funny thing is, like these ones, these $20 ones have like a shock absorber thing going on in them.
Right.
The ones that the expensive ones I have right now, which is not crazy expensive, they're like $100, I think. But I don't think they have that.
It's interesting.
So anyway. But anyway, these are cool. These have a story behind them. These have hundreds of miles of hiking, and so that's pretty cool. I also added my wakeboard above my head here.
I see that. That's
Yeah,
I've never tried the wakeboard.
no.
No, I don't think I've ever tried a wakeboard.
It's only held up by some fishing line, so I'm waiting for it to fall on my head.
just
Hopefully, we don't have an earthquake.
hovering above your head.
Yeah, that's all right. It's hit my head many times anyway, just from doing the scorpion.
That's right.
So, and that's probably what's wrong with my lower back. I haven't ridden it in a long time, but I used to be able to do flips on that thing at one point
That's
in time.
pretty crazy, dude.
I had to balance it out, of course, with my old snowboard.
Right.
All of these have stickers from things in the past. Lots of tattoo stickers from steel tattoos tattoo.com, which was my old tattoo artist Murdoch. Shout out, although he's passed away now. And the Auto Glass Company. It was a friend of mine's Auto Glass Company. Type 3 Clothing.
That was one of your
Matt's
first entrepreneurial endeavors back in the day, right?
Yeah, that was one I was trying to ride the coattail of.
Yeah.
That was Matt that we went shooting with. It was, it's kind of his. He was the one that put any kind of money or anything into it. I was just like, yeah, I'm part of it too, and I'll help you market it and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, I'll give you some of the company if it turns into something.
Right.
I think he even gave me actual like a certificate that I owned like 5% of it or something like that.
That's cool.
Like, so I owe 5. Does that mean I owe 5% of the debt too?
Yeah.
Because it never really turned into much, but it was fun. And what else do we got? There's almost forgot about the most important additions to the Never Inside Shack.
The piece de resistance. Is that your name? Sorry.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
But I'm curious now. So, I've talked multiple times about how I trade for things, trade tattoos for things, and I had traded for a camera lens with this guy, and he hit me up and he's like, hey, I got these. I noticed you had that axe throwing lounge. He saw the Mad Axer logo on something.
Okay.
And he's like, he just saw the axes, and so he remembered that, and he had all these axes that he had inherited from a family member that had passed away or something like that. And he said, hey, you interested in these? Because he saw that, he didn't know why, but he thought I liked axes. I was like, well, I happen to own an axe throwing lounge, so absolutely, let's do it. And these things are all so cool that I decided they would serve better in the Never Inside Shack than at the Mad Axer, because
these are some pretty cool axes. I mean, obviously we've held our share of axes,
right?
Utility type axes. We're actually using them every day. But these are, I think when you showed me the picture of them, you were about to get them. They looked cool, but I don't think the pictures did them justice.
Not
they
at
are
all.
Actually really nice axes.
Yeah, so I'm not even going to take them to the axe lounge because the handles just end up breaking on these things. I mean, you see how quickly the handles break.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to throw these around.
But these things are razor sharp.
Yeah.
And
he did a
they're
really
like
nice
polished
job.
up. And they've got some crazy logos on them. If anyone can see zeroing on that and it knows what that is, but I need to spend the time to do some research on them. But they have all got these are all like one-offs. They're not.
Yeah, it's not like you go to Walmart and there's
like this thing.
There's a dozen of them sitting there for sale or anything like that.
Yeah, this one right here is legit, dude. So I personally think it kind of looks stupid. This handle, it's all big and stupid, but someone put a lot of time into carving each of these little notches out of here. This isn't like something you just run through a machine. That's a piece of wood that someone carved little notches out of.
I would like to think that somebody was camping and just found a good little piece of wood. And
I don't think they carved that end.
Oh.
That looks like a baseball bat end. So maybe that's what they started with.
Well, there goes that.
But still,
it's theory.
Someone put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
That to me makes it legit. You know?
That's right.
And then there's this other one down here. It looks like it might be like a mining.
It looks like it's a cousin to a ball peen hammer.
Yeah, but it's pointy. That thing is pointy, fellas. And then this one up here is cool. It's like a hammer with a little pointy thing on the back. But it's got like half of the logo. I feel like there should
be a name of the pointy end.
Yeah, it's got like half the logo though on it. So it's almost like they cut it out of a piece of metal that was repurposed or something. But either way, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this is some pretty legit axes. Yeah, I thought about putting them in the case there, but I don't want to.
Dude, nobody's gonna even see them.
And even if I
care that much.
Well, yeah. So they might look cool enough to matter, but and if I sell them, what if I get $50 a piece for them, maybe?
Yeah.
And it's like, what am I gonna do with $50? Whoopie-doo, But I have cool axes. If I just keep them.
You have cool axes now.
If I just keep them.
I think you just keep them. Start a new collection. I'm big into collections. I like to collect stuff. I feel like it fills a hole in my life when I collect things. Which I should probably talk to somebody about that.
When you add one more item to
a collection,
any
I feel
said collection.
More whole? Yes.
Yeah.
So I've collected coins, like pennies, because that's the least expensive way of collecting coins.
Okay.
So pennies had like a whole bunch of them.
You used
right?
to have
Remember?
the wheat back pennies.
Wheat back pennies, the steel ones that were made because they were using copper during the war, so they made steel pennies for a little while and different things like that. So those were kind of cool.
Did you see those pennies that someone found, like in a old piece of property that they inherited or something like that? They found like $10,000 worth of pennies.
Wow.
They found 1 million pennies or something like that.
Wow, that's a lot of pennies.
Well, they're like, what are we gonna do with this? Go cash in 10,000 pennies?
Dude, you're gonna make that little machine over in the front of the grocery store really work. You're just dumping them in there.
Well, they ended up selling it to an investor that is hoping that out of those 10,000 pennies, there's
that $1 million penny in there. Yeah.
And they were trying to sell it for $20,000 worth, for $20,000.
Right.
Like with the person understanding that's the gamble, right? And then they did sell it, but in the news it was undisclosed what the end amount was
Of what they sold it
of what they sold it for.
So he hasn't gone through every penny yet.
No, an investor bought it and took that
which
gamble.
is probably pretty. I bet you a good investment.
If you've got enough money sitting around, it's
something
a
to do.
gamble. You know, you at least got $10,000,
and then to hire enough money to hire somebody to go through all those because I'm not looking at every penny.
Yeah. So there's another $1,000.
They have apps now that you can take a little picture of your coin and then it does the research for you and all these things.
Yeah.
Some of them are worth a little bit of money.
There's some when they were talking about it on the news, they were talking about there's like 15 different ones or something like that are like really valuable.
Right.
And they go anywhere from like $150,000 to like $10 million or something. No, not 10 million. That might be
That's a
high.
lot.
But it was like in the millions.
I bet you, see, when I did collected pennies, the cool thing about being older is that when you're younger, you're like, if I just hang on to this, it'll be worth something when I'm older, which that's not always the case.
No.
But I could go back. I still have them, so I could go back and check and see if any of them have like... Because the longer you keep something where there's several of them in the world, and then there's less and less and less in the world, and I don't know. So maybe do that.
You think that old Kenny Loggins concert ticket is worth anything from Feather Falls Casino in Orville?
Probably not.
Probably should toss that.
Do you collect those?
No. But there was a time when, like something like that I couldn't throw away. I'm like, oh, it's a memory.
Oh, dude, nobody cares about you went to a concert.
It's a Kenny Loggins concert.
And you have a badge or something.
Yeah, I don't actually have that anymore. But
rarely
there was a time that was in my box of things that I should keep forever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of those things that just ended up... And then the ones that I did keep ended up disappearing anyway, you know? It's like, whatever. That's it. That's the whole podcast.
It's about...
Just kidding. Shotgun topic.
Okay, so I was thinking something is funny is that, so you're a bug, right?
No, I'm a human being.
Let's
Fuck you.
Play bug.
Okay.
Right? So let's pretend you're a bug.
Okay.
And you land on somebody's windshield, like somebody's driving through the country or four-wheeling and you're a bug and you land on it. And then you just ride it out to the far end of the trail or whatever, which is 5 miles, 10 miles.
Right.
And then you jump off. And you're in a completely different world because you're a little bug. And you're 10 miles away. It's like going to another planet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
they just make... What do they do?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Do they have social...
So I'm saying, are they their family gone
Do they
now?
miss mommy?
So I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't think they care. I think they're just
Think they just get off
just
and
start
just start
flying again,
munching on a different
and then
leaf?
like leaf. You know, they just start eating.
I always thought about that.
And then I mean, yeah. You have to ask a biologist.
Because it's never going to get back to where it was, I don't guess.
We'll see
unless
if-
it's a flying type situation.
We'll see if we can get Forrest Galante on here, and he'll tell us all about it.
So that was just my thunder.
Yeah.
My thinking.
Yeah, that's a. All I know is the last thing to go through his head when he gets hit by the said windshield is his ass.
That's right.
Okay.
How about you? Shotgun topic.
Shotgun topic. Okay. So I looked up orienteering. Or I had already looked it up before the last podcast. But so I tried to contact these orienteering guys in San Diego to try to figure out if we can get someone on the show to enthusiastically explain orienteering to us and really sell it, drive it home, if you will.
Right.
And
really sell it is the thing, because I feel like it would be fun for like you and I, because we like to just try different things, realizing that it may not be the most exciting thing we've tried. But I feel like if you're trying to convince your buddy to do it that isn't that type of person, you would need somebody from the organization that really just
it has the passion
that just bleeds. Was it orienteering? Orienteering. It's a weird word. But and then come on and really sell it to us.
Yeah, so I hadn't heard anything back until today. That's right. Today I heard back.
What's the dude's
literally
name?
like on our as we're preparing to get over here and start doing this podcast. And he says, "Luke, thanks for your interest in orienteering in San Diego. We just announced that our next event will be at Rancho Cuyamaca in late September. We are a small group, but I will circulate your generous invite to folks and let you know if anyone is interested in participating. Yours, Mark."
How many people do you think is in a small group?
Probably his wife.
Him and his wife. And he's like, I'll tell my wife. He's like, hey, wife.
They're all old.
Yeah, like old.
And their orienteering is like, they go, it's a football field.
They walk around the backyard.
There's walkers.
He's like, hey, wife, you want to be on a podcast?
A what?
A podcast.
What's a podcast?
He's like, I think it's fishing.
Oh, you hate fishing.
I don't hate fishing, woman. Leave me alone.
Yeah. And then the real email actually showed up and said, yes, I'll come on your show. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
He's like, I'll go fishing with you.
I'll go fishing with you. Let's do it. So that we... I guess you could say I cast that net.
Oh, boy.
And, The
so
one
are
thing
you gonna respond back to him and say,
no.
Yeah, No,
I'm probably gonna respond. I'll respond. It was nice enough for him to respond to me. I'll respond to him with a thank you for the info.
So it's just
I'll look forward to hearing from someone if possible.
Just a dead end path.
But I also know that in September we can go do some orienteering
with Pa and Ma.
With Ma and Pa in the backyard.
All right.
Ma and Pa in the backyard. Bring the banjo.
I don't know, dude.
It's an orienteering party up in... Okay. We're in San
Diego. So there's
Diego.
not a group? You can't look at the group?
No, it says that, listen. But I will circulate your generous invite to folks and let you know if anyone's interested in participating in your lovely little podcast. So no one's passionate.
He's not interested at all.
He's the guy that would be the passionate guy.
And he's
if he's the one answering the email.
Yeah, he's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, he's like, it's just this thing where I run and read a map.
Maybe he's not that passionate about it either.
No, I'm guessing not. But it is what it is.
Well, I feel like it had potential to being something kind of cool.
Well, it does, and it
what would be fun is if you added alcohol.
What if we organized? What if we started an orienteering club?
Yeah, with
booze
and
I'm gonna always win
because you're sober all the time. Maybe you get a little other situation, a little smoke or something in there.
Maybe we make it a screw the
420.
booze. It's a 420.
It's a
orienteering, so everyone's all high. They can't read a map.
That's what I'm saying.
Everyone's like stumbling around like a bunch of idiots. Like no one can figure out which way is north.
Now that sounds like fun.
I'm not gonna lie. We'll call it non-orienteering.
Because you're non-oriented.
What?
Because you're non-oriented with your situation. That's fun, dude. Make an app and everything.
Dude, that is kind of funny because you're purposely supposed to be. It's supposed to be harder to read the map.
Right. You get there and then you just hang out for an hour.
It's a big powwow.
Yeah, for about an hour. Make it very Native American feel, right? Like drums and shit, and passing around a little peace pipe. Everybody's becoming friends, right?
Dude,
And then we're like, all right, dude, here's your maps. Let's do this.
And
Time it.
And they don't give anyone any chance to look at the maps or
None, dude.
anything before.
Yeah.
So they just got to figure the whole thing out
Yeah.
from the time you say go, which is right after.
Dude, that could be fun. That could be
I could see a lot of people wanting to do that.
Yeah, that'd be a good time, dude. Like, we could even do it just in trails around here. The problem is you do need to have somebody that's maybe monitoring the whole thing. That's has their wits about them.
Yeah,
because we don't want people getting lost. So it's got to be somewhere where.
Well, here's the thing. It's going to be no different than any of these beer drinking events.
Absolutely.
Right? So they have like the mud runs that you're intentionally going there to drink and run.
Right.
Right. So it shouldn't be any different than that. Marijuana is legal, right?
Right.
So
Yep.
Just like with alcohol, you're going to have to get some permits. You're going to have to follow
Dude, I
guidelines.
bet you could get some of these, because weed the dispensaries around here are like ridiculous, right? The advertising and the money of these people, and then 420 came around and they were giving away things. I bet we could get a sponsor.
Dude, can you imagine the sponsors we
That's
could
what
get
I'm
for that?
saying, dude. Like, hey, does anybody want to sponsor our unoriented? I cannot get that.
Non-orienteering.
Non-orienteering.
There's got to be something better than that.
Well, wait, come up with a
lines.
cool name, and be like, look, dude, you guys sponsor this, and it's not necessarily we need any like free weed or anything, right? We could figure that out.
420ing. 420ing.
It's a little difficult to say.
420ing.
We'll
orienteering.
We'll work on that. I need you to stop saying that. First thing you do is stop saying that. The second thing is I'm trying to, and you know what? This is funny for our listeners. We're just now coming up with this idea, right? The stories before here were a little pre-planned. It didn't go off quite as But this is real life, and we do this all the time. We just put it out on the table, and just everything we can think of, just dump it on the table, and then sift through it. And more often than not, we come up with a cool idea.
It's true. And in fact, this is a good topic, a little bit of a topic here, because when we started this podcast too, I tried to make it very clear, and people that have just recently started listening don't necessarily know this, but I've tried to make it pretty clear that this is more than just talking about being outside.
Right.
But this podcast, but it's about outsiding as a way of being, as a way of thinking. Right.
Absolutely, it's a way of getting out of the. And we do. I mean, the first episode was us talking about what is outside to us.
Right.
And I think that we had different kind of takes on it, but the meat of it was turn your phone off, get out of the electronic leash, right? I think I even used that, and get out and just be with nature and just kind of get away from all the rigmarole, right?
Yeah.
And so being here frees our minds to just come up with these cool ideas.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot where I was going with that, but I think I saved it.
Hate when that happens.
I think I saved it.
Yeah, smoke more pot.
But
it's so that's how things happen.
That's right.
So before we got here today, so let's talk about our day.
Sure. Because everybody's interested in that.
Everyone cares. All
We're
right? No, we don't need to talk about our day. But here's the thing: is that we're always looking for new or keeping our eyes and ears open for new opportunities. Right. We were approached by someone that we had no idea who they were. They didn't know who we were, and they came to us because they walked into our axe throwing lounge and said, "Man, this place is cool.
Right.
We want to have this in our center over here, down in a different city."
Right.
And so they called us and asked us if we'd be willing to put a business in their center.
Right.
Now, that's not something that we had anywhere on our radar, but it was an opportunity that arose, and so we went and took a look at it, right?
Yeah, we did, and it could actually turn into something cool.
It could.
But we put it out there, right? We kind of put the kind of like when you're looking for aliens, you just keep beaming information out there, and somebody's going to stumble upon it.
And you have to be looking for it to come back too.
That's true.
You have to keep your eyes open and see those opportunities as they fly by, right? So a prime example of that is we were on our way back. Our partner Tom had mentioned that he had some space in his in one of his escape rooms in Temecula that his lease was coming up. He's thinking about maybe just letting it go, or maybe we absorb it into our other business, or maybe there's some space there. Maybe we can combine them and do some axe throwing. So we swing by there, just because it's on the way home,
Right.
and we take a look at it. And probably within the next month or two, we're gonna have a second axe throwing lounge open, because we all decided, well, this is crazy. He can sublet to himself this space. It'd take a week to build a few lanes in this space, and we can test the location before we decide if we want to take over a lease and start a whole new venture with that. But immediately start doing something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just gotta keep, because some things stick, some don't. But the ones that we're doing now that do work, were just something that we just threw out there and it stuck.
Exactly. And you gotta keep
going.
Entertaining ideas.
Yeah.
You can't just let ideas just fly by and just you gotta like stop and look at it and say, is there something there? Lots of time there's not, but lots of time there is.
Yeah.
You know? And now there's this new non-orienteering thing that's bigger than Spartan races.
That's right. So now we invite all of you to join us.
We invite you
We
all
don't
to
know
join
exactly
us
what it's going to look like.
to the 4-20ing.
I hate that when you say that. I don't like. We know one thing. It's not going to be called that.
No, that didn't quite have a ring to it, does it?
No, it is difficult to listen to.
Yeah.
Much less say. So, all right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to put it out there into the universe
And hope someone else doesn't do it first?
Somebody else. Oh shit. All right.
It's all right. No one listens to us anyway.
That's right.
They will after this.
But we're going to do this. And if anybody that's listening is interested and think this is a good idea, please like, subscribe. No, I'm kidding. Comment on if there's anything like that you've heard of. But I think this could be it, dude.
And if you know anyone who is a higher level a partner or someone in a cannabis type company that might be interested in sponsoring such an event,
Dude, I will roll to every one of these and be like, who's your boss? Let me just do it.
I know one of them.
Well, everybody,
Kim
we all know one of them.
Kim Cousins.
I don't. Well, okay, he's cool. All right. Well,
He owns multiple dispensaries.
oh, that's right. He does, dude. And he is always wanting to be
CEO of the Lake Elsinore Chamber of Commerce, and
dude, that's it.
and he likes marketing.
The cousins, Kim's cousins.
The Kim's cousins always come into play somehow.
They just sure do. So we have a little powwow at the beginning, meet and greet, right? We meet all of the people that are playing. You and I, or whoever's in charge, we have the maps together.
Mm-hmm.
We get some little cheapy compasses that we can pass out.
Yep. We'll get them printed with the logo on them and stuff. People can have them.
Sponsored by Never Inside and the cannabis
and the syndicate
company and the syndicate. And you come in there, you all hang out, and then you start, and then we'll have to iron out the details. But maybe there's because there's trails all over here, like within a mile of every direction. There's trails around us.
We can find.
So we can find something that are the trails are
maybe something out in Anza or something.
Yeah, like the trails are clearly cut, right? We're not digging through like brush because that'd be dangerous. Clearly cut in an area where you just have to get to a fork in the road, and you got to read this map, like maybe which way to go.
Well, I think we should go do the September actual orienteering thing and see how they run that.
That's a great idea.
And then alter it to what works for our needs.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because this is gonna be a brand new thing.
Yeah.
You know, we won't even call it anything that has to do with orienteering.
Right.
It'll just be a brand new thing. It'll be orienteering, but with our twist, it'll just be a brand new thing. Because we can make it sound more exciting right off the bat.
I think we're onto something.
Dude.
That's a cool idea. It's a cool idea.
It is.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. See?
There you have it.
Magic in the
You guys just watched it happen.
You just watched it happen.
Out of thin air. Thin air, baby.
All right. Well, write that down.
Write that down with that big old pencil.
Let me write this down. Unnamed. We'll do 420 maps. Even though there's such a thing. We're going to come up with a cool name.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
like that, dude. I think that's fun.
I think that's already an app for finding your marijuana grass.
The 420 map.
420 maps.
420 maps, yeah.
So I wanted to introduce a new segment, just something simple.
Okay.
I thought it'd be kind of just a cool thing to point out cool places. So one cool place. So talk about one cool place that you've either been or you want to go, or you've heard about or whatever.
Okay.
And that shouldn't be a difficult thing to talk about once a week because there's a lot of cool places out there.
There's a lot of cool places out there.
If you know what I mean.
Okay, I got one, but you want to go first? Or
No, by all means.
All right, so it's not as gross as it sounds. So when you and I were really young, we used to travel in Southern California. We used to make our way through the city in not the sewer. They weren't sewers. They were water ducts. They were like the overflow, like when it would rain and stuff. It would divert water.
Yeah.
It wasn't poo sewers,
Right.
But we would go and it would be huge, we'd kind of go, it would be all the cement things and then walk inside the giant water and then it would turn into a smaller little cavern thing and then smaller like a tube and then we're crawling through it.
Jesus,
and then stupid. I know. And then all of a sudden, somewhere stairs, ladders would go straight up and we'd pop up. We'd be in the center of the freeway. Like, I remember that specifically. We'd pop up like, oh shit, we're right in the center. And it was the drainage. The water drainage would go down inside there. So we used to kind of explore the seedy, the seedy underbelly of San Bernardino.
Oh my God.
Which is already not the most, not the place you really want to hang out.
Can you imagine if something happened to us down there?
Nobody would ever find us.
So, okay, hold on a sec. That's the cool place you want to go?
No, that's the cool place that we've been. I thought you said you want to. I thought.
No, that's fine.
Cool places we've been.
Okay.
I thought that was at the time it was like the coolest place.
I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's like I thought for sure we were gonna find the Ninja Turtles.
Dude, no doubt, dude. It was cool.
That was where we were at. That was that's
right.
kind of place
where the Ninja Turtles live.
But yeah, I thought it was. Dude, what if something happened? Like, what if we ran into some like escaped convict down there?
Dude, we were in like grade school.
I know, or someone flushed an alligator down a toilet, and we
just chilling, living in there.
Yeah, if that's really a thing or not, I don't know. But we're in the middle. No one ever find us.
Never.
For years.
Never.
You know what I mean?
Find us.
Or until there's a big storm.
And then they washed our bodies out.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy to think about. I kind of was thinking more along the lines of something outside.
Well, we were outside as little kids.
We were exploring.
That's right.
We were spelunking.
Exactly. Absolutely. Because we left the house.
Urban caves.
Turned the TV off, left the house. Mom said, be back later.
We said,
we're like, okay.
Well, we wish we live in the mountains, but we don't, so we'll go get some urban caves in.
That's right. So we went out just exploring.
Yeah. Man, we were some explorers, weren't we? We would just walk miles and miles and miles and miles all day long.
What else did we have to do? We were poor and didn't have shit to do.
Yeah.
And
jump in dumpsters, collect cans.
Yeah, dude.
Make our way to the recycle center. Walk out of there, buy a pack of cookies, sit on the curb and eat them,
and then go home.
Walk home. Do it again tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. So give me an example of what you were thinking.
Okay. I had an example, and this pops up a lot in my feed, and I know other people have probably seen it a lot. Like, I feel like it pops up more and more over the years. Is Havasu Falls.
Oh.
I'm sure you've seen most people have seen pictures of it. It's like, that's one of the destination spots everyone wants to be.
Right.
And that's in the Grand Canyon in Havasupai is the name of a town, which is inside the canyon. Did you know that?
You've told me the story.
I've told you the story.
I only know it because of what you told me.
So it's wild. It's crazy, but it's very crowded. I've been there. It was really cool. It's a 10-mile hike. You walk down like a couple thousand feet, like basically traversing along down a canyon wall. Mm-hmm. And then you walk along. It's 10 miles. You walk into this little town that's like just inside a canyon. It's crazy. They've got a school down there. They've got stores. They've got a post office. They got all this stuff. And then all the kids that live down there, like there's only two ways in and out of, there's only two ways in and out. There's the trail and there's helicopter. Like, there's no vehicles down there unless they're helicoptered in. Like, there are some down there, but they've been brought in.
So they were brought in for special occasion. Like, so it's not like everybody has a car down there.
Right.
Right.
Right. Exactly. Anyone that's willing to pay a helicopter to get it down there for them has one. You know what I mean?
Is it
So those
big
are
enough to
Indians.
need a car down there?
Yeah. I mean, there's dirt roads down there, and they go.
Okay,
You know.
okay.
But there's no roads that get down there like that.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these guys live down there, and they are filthy rich. Filthy rich.
Really?
Because it's so packed. There's so many tourists going down there, and they're just spending their money at the store and paying them to have their burros bring their stuff down so they don't have to hike all their backpacks
Oh, so
down.
this little town like provides all of these amenities.
Yeah, and I'm sure probably are the ones running the helicopter up back and forth.
Yeah.
Dude, the kids are walking around, you know, that's where they go to school, and they've got these huge. I remember the one kid had like diamond earrings like that big, like an inch around on each ear, and they're just filthy rich living in this little town because all the tourists just come and just throw their money at them.
Wow.
It's crazy, and they go out of town, and they just have all this money when they leave, and then they come back, and that's where they live. But they're far. It's like there's no close towns. Like even when you get to the top of the canyon, you know.
Right.
It's like far away from civilization, kind of.
So do people like want to go live there and make all this money, or you have to be like part of the family?
No, it's a Indian tribe.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, the Havasupai tribe.
Oh, okay, that's right. You mentioned that. Okay.
So, but man, you get down there and it's very crowded. But there's like 3 or 4 falls, and they're all just unbelievably beautiful. I mean, the water glows blue, like teal blue.
Wow.
It doesn't glow. Because you look at it at night, you're not seeing it glowing, but you would assume that it would when you're looking at it during the day.
That's cool.
And the pictures, you look at pictures of it and you think it does it justice. Dude, nothing. You can't. I see a picture that does it justice. The way this water looks in person,
Yeah.
and it's just some kind of minerals that are in the ground right there or whatever. But it's a pretty epic spot.
Can you camp there?
Yeah. So it's like a 10-mile hike down. And then you camp there. I think we stayed for 2 or 3 days and you just kind of hike up and down the falls and go to the different falls. And like to get to a certain part, you have to go through a cave and then down like this ladder that's like, bolted into the side of the cliff and stuff like that. So it's not for everyone to go further and further down necessarily, but there's just more and more big, cool, giant freaking waterfalls. That's awesome.
That sounds amazing. That's way better than mine.
I mean, it's kind of close.
I didn't really know what we're doing, so you sprung it on me.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to have an idea so quick. I don't think I was done with my sentence. You're like, I got something sewers. Let me tell you about the sewers. Sewers in San Bernardino.
That is weird that popped in my head. I just thought that was really cool. I've always thought that was a cool thing.
Well, it is pretty. I always thought it was just stupid. Like a stupid thing for us to do.
Well, sure, but that's the best things, the stupid things, I think.
Well,
not the best things, but some of the fun things are kind of stupid to do. But
yeah,
I mean, we used to jump off bridges and stuff in Oregon, and I used to hang from the train bridge.
Oh yeah,
hang from the grate and then let go into the water.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever did that. I think you did it, and you were telling me about it, and I was always like, "Oh, that'd be crazy," and then I just never got around to like doing that one.
Oregon was cool. I'd like to go back over there.
It was cool when I went recently.
All right, one more cool place. How about
the meteor crater?
It's the big ass hole.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was cool. When we were driving from California to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the alien spaceship was out there.
Yeah, they got the alien jerky.
Alien jerky, yeah. But that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was huge.
It was remember it was in that movie Starman.
Oh, was it?
That's where they ended up, like at the end of the movie in Starman. They were at the meteor crater, and there was like alien stuff going on.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That's out in the middle of the desert.
Yeah,
just like this giant hole in the ground.
Yeah,
it's huge, like mile across.
I can't remember,
Something
but
like
it's
that, like
it wouldn't
couple
surprise me
miles.
if it's more than that.
It would you could see the other side, but it was like if you wouldn't be able to talk to your buddy on the other side.
No,
you were like
it's
waving. You could
way
kind of
over there.
You could kind of see a little person way over there and like wave at
Yeah.
him. You could probably you certainly would have to drive to the other side. That's how big it is.
Yeah.
I think we could drive down. Did we drive down into it? Because there was like a little.
No, we were just
you could
allowed on the rim.
Yeah, you
There
could
was,
see
the observatory, not
Yeah.
observatory, but the observation area.
observation area.
With the little telescopes and such.
Didn't we go through the desert also? Where the layers? Remember the layers of like the like hills, and they were just like everything was very much layered, different colors and stuff.
Wasn't that like the painted desert or something
Yeah,
like that?
that was cool too.
And then with that same trip, I think we went through the
Petrified forest.
Petrified Forest. That was a trip. You picture a forest like but no, it's rocks all over the ground that used to be trees.
Yeah,
It's a trip.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That was a pretty cool trip. All right. Well, I think we've got a little bit of good stuff in today. We got.
We're gonna look into the thing that doesn't have a name yet. 'cause
Okay.
we're not
Hold
gonna-
on. Let's give it one last attempt here to get a good name. Okay. We're combining
Map. Okay, this is good. We're combining maps.
maps. Oh, Weed Maps is the name of that other one.
Weed maps. Okay.
So
So we're combining. Is there a name for mapping? Like
navigating.
yeah, but I feel like there should be a special name for somebody
Map reading?
reads maps. No,
Mapper.
I think it's a mapper. I think
The
there's
Mad Mapper.
yeah. I think there's somebody out there there's a name for somebody that actually like reads maps.
I think Navigator,
Navigator. Okay.
but I don't think that
So
flows.
navigating should be in there.
But that's a lot of syllables for
Yeah.
naming.
They're like
and we still got to add something else to it.
yeah. All right, we'll work on it.
Yeah, we'll work on it. Never mind. That's
We'll
a bad
have
idea.
to- Okay.
It's time for another episode of Good Idea, Bad Idea. On this episode, we chose the bad idea. But that's it, dude. But you know what, dude? We talk about all these things that we're doing, and it was kind of cool. We people kind of get to see, anyone that knows us personally kind of sees that happen all the time
Yeah.
with us. And I like to think that people realize we're not bullshitters just because every idea doesn't happen. We got to sort through them sometimes.
Yeah, we do. Maybe we should have done that off the air. But the cool thing is, if this works out, this would be a fun podcast to come watch because this is where we had brain babies right here.
That's right.
We're like and
Absolutely. You want to know how to start a business?
That's
Watch
how- that's
the
how
Never
every-
Inside Theory.
That's how every business we've ever started happened, just right there.
That's right. But I also want to touch on a subject that has been a topic of mine for the last few weeks in my own brain here, just kind of floating around in my head, and I've spouted it out to people around me recently, including yourself. And it's just a way of looking at things and a way of approaching said ideas and all that stuff. And it's that, you and I both have a tendency to want, like, we get an idea like that one, right?
Mhm.
And we're like, we can do that. All we have to do is this, that, and the other, and we immediately start mapping it on our head, and then it's a possible thing to do, and we'll start doing it if it makes sense. But I'm starting to learn these days that you have to make sure that whatever you're taking on, even if you're capable of doing it and adding it to what you're currently doing, you have to make sure it's sustainable before you decide to commit to that thing. Sustainability is the word of the day. And the reason I say that is because, I want to do everything, because I don't look at anything and say, I can't do that. I look at it and say, that would be cool to do. What would it take? Right. And my mind tells me that I can do anything, so I will automatically want to do that because it'd be a shame to let that idea just go away, right? But I'll jump in head first with these ideas, and the problem is, here's an example, like with Never Inside. I was like, okay, I'm going to build the social media up to where it's like epic. I'm going to do it quickly, right? And I'm talking to the social media guy, and he's telling me you need to do 3 to 4 reels a day,
Which is
shorts.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot of, you can get good at these little quick apps to put them together. But even with that, that's a lot. But I was like, I'm going to do that, and I started doing it. I'm doing it for like a week. I'm sitting there at night in bed, putting some reels together, trying to pump them out there, and it's fine, and I'm capable of doing it. But after a while, it's like, dude, is this really sustainable? Can I say I'm going to do this every night, every day for the next 3 years? It's just not realistic.
Yeah.
Even it doesn't mean I'm lazy. It just means it's not realistic. If I'm going to live any kind of normal life, I just can't do that. I can't commit to that.
Yeah.
So I obviously chose to back off from that a little bit, and I'm still doing it, but I'm just not trying to do it at that level. It's just not sustainable. And so we have to. It's something to consider when you're trying to accomplish a new goal.
Yeah.
Or a new mission. But I want to throw out there that is not something to use as an excuse
to not do anything.
Not be out there doing something to get toward your goal.
Right.
Because so many people I know would say, I was gonna go do that, but I really started thinking, and it's just not sustainable. And then you're like, oh, okay, so now it's just an excuse to be a lazy pile of shit. I got you.
Right.
So don't do that. Don't use "is it sustainable" as an excuse to be a lazy pile of shit.
Well, one of my problems is I get super excited about something, and I just, like you said, I just dive in both feet.
Right.
I go out and buy everything that I need to do that, and then the next day I'm like, yeah, I really can't do this. I don't have time to do all this, and now I have something else in my garage.
Yeah, we're both real guilty of that. But I like to feel. I feel like I've been able to pull myself back over the years enough to where when I am doing that, I'm still like I'm not taking on something I can't do at all. I can't do it to the level that I would like to necessarily, but I can still do it. So like this podcast, like we don't sit there and think about it all week long, but then we sit down and we have fun talking and we have a good podcast. We're still doing it,
right.
and it's and it's still fun to us, and we want to keep doing it, but you got to to sit there and think and try to get a post out every other hour is like, come on, you gotta
tough.
Be realistic with your time.
Well, there you have it.
There you have it. And that being said, I'm not yet rich. Are you?
No.
Damn it. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to keep going here then.
That's right. All right. Well, another one in the books.
Another one in the books. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Please shoot us comments. We want to hear them. And that's it. Like, subscribe, follow. Call us big weenie faces.
just do
whatever the hell you want.
Just engage.
But when you do it outside. That's it.
Thank you again to all of our outsiders. Please check out our website, neverinside.com, for all of your gear. And you can reach out to Never Inside on Facebook and at Never Inside on Instagram. Let's outside.